Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I do want to start off with this video here from Raoul Pal. He's really kind of talking about the macro setup. And as you guys do know, with all of my videos that I do talk about XRP or any other asset in the space, I always try to put it into perspective how early we are around this type of technology and this entire space. Now, before we dive into this video, I do want to ask for everyone out there watching, if you guys could please hit the like button. It does help the overall YouTube algorithm greatly, and it does help the channel grow. And of course, I always appreciate it. Now, with that in mind, let's dive into this video that Riz XRP posted from Raoul Pal. What do you see? This is the clear macro setup, tech and crypto. Crypto being vastly larger, least distractions, filter out the noise, and keep my time horizon right.
I have become much less diversified in portfolios because I think everything is driven by the same thesis right now, which is global liquidity, debt, demographics, debt. And you end up with two assets that outperform everything and one asset more than others. I'm like, everything, if I buy anything else outside of technology or crypto, it's actually a relative destruction of capital. So I don't do it. So, I can give the advice. Yes, I love India. You should be buying India. I'm not going to buy it because I'm at the point where I think this is the clear macro setup and I want the maximum focus in the trade that I'm doing with the least distraction. It's one of the reasons I was happy to get rid of the bond trade. I don't want the distraction. I want the two bets, technology, crypto, with crypto being vastly larger. And so I can focus because, I can get stuff wrong too. We all know that. So I just want to focus on what I'm doing, filter out the noise, keep my time horizon right.
And of course, did you guys see the question there, right? The question is, will we ever get a buying opportunity to buy into India? You know what's funny about this? With XRP, we have seen on-demand liquidity corridors launch everywhere around the world. You want to know which area has an on-demand liquidity corridor in it already? Yeah, that's right. India does. Recently, going back to April of this year, Ripple confirms XRP on-demand liquidity payments are now available in India. We're already invested in India through XRP. And if we scroll down, we can see, according to Ripple's new quick guide, there has been confirmation that XRP on-demand liquidity payments are available in India. Moreover, the guide states that blockchain technology companies' payment solutions are available in complex corridors like Brazil, Mexico, India, and Southeast Asia. The US-based company has consistently worked to provide optimal solutions for international financial transactions. Additionally, the RippleNet blockchain network has used that technology to offer fast, secure, and cost-cutting ways to transfer finances globally. And India is a huge corridor. This has been one to really kind of watch for because not only is it part of the BRICS, they are also leading the way in the path towards digital payments. We do know that they're actually working with the G20, which kind of confirms that almost all of these major moves from the BRICS, it's kind of coordinated, if you will. So me personally, I'm not really too concerned on what the BRICS are doing because I do think that at some point in time it will incorporate crypto and digital assets. And I do believe XRP has been a pillar in the space for so long, to the point where I just don't see how it's not included in any major initiative going forward. But also, we have over here, going back to 2017, that's right, over 6 years ago now, Ripple launches new Mumbai office to serve India's digital economy. What we've seen later, 3 years later actually, policy framework for digital assets in India. They were already planning this ahead of time back then. They seen the value there. And to me personally, all of this is worth mentioning now because we already know that India has become a big hub around digital assets. even blockchain and crypto technology has been thriving in India for a while now, and they've been pretty much a leader, if you will, a pioneer around this technology. And they also are kind of becoming a crypto hub, very similar to like the UK or the UAE or even Hong Kong. They all want to become major hubs around this space because they see the value behind crypto. This is also why I say, like, you know, if you actually take a step back and, you know, don't focus on price for once, you could actually see the big moves being made, especially globally. Like globally, we are starting to see a big push. Like it's full on, all gas, no brakes. Like it's going, right? So it's very exciting to see that. And then also, we do see over here that, and so now, and by the way, this is a quote from Ashish Birla. This goes back to, I believe, so this is 5 years ago. This was 5 years ago that this got posted. And we do see, and so now I think that in our pipeline, we have probably 50% of the market in India, either integrated onto Ripple or in the deal, in the sort of pipeline to be signed to India. And guess what? We're going to take that back to Wells Fargo. And we're going to say there's not a better way to send into India than Ripple. And this is their goal, right? Like, in my opinion, when we really kind of look at what Ripple has been doing, these major connections allows them to go back to these big names like Wells Fargo, for an example, or even Citi, and say, hey, look it, you know, we are the number one go-to to send money to India, for an example, or Brazil, or this area or that area. It's worth mentioning this because this is a big initiative, and this has all been their plan since day one. Now, also, we see over here, so talking about Raoul Pal, you probably remember this, going all the way back to March of 2021. Total crypto market cap will surpass $100 trillion. This is one thing that I've been very adamant about as well. As we really kind of look at this space, we know that it's poised and set to explode over the course of the next couple years. And I'm not talking about bull runs or bear markets or anything like that. No, what I'm really kind of looking at here is I'm talking about the technology. I'm talking about what's happening around this space and around this sector. One of those big things is mass adoption. Listen closely to this clip over here that got posted by Crypto Eddie. This is the VP of Corporate Strategy at Ripple, and this is at Consensus. This was on the 27th. Blockchain crypto payments, 2 or 3 years is going to be a tipping point for mass adoption.
Well, I joined Ripple in 2016, so it's been almost 7 years. Not as quite long as Eric, but it's been, totally agree, it's quite a journey to date. So Ripple is a leading provider of enterprise blockchain software and solutions, including cross-border payments and crypto liquidity and CBDCs. Well, I want to answer the question by sharing some key insights and data points from the blockchain payments report we just co-published with US Faster Payments Council just last month. It's available on Ripple's website, so please check it out. But for that report, we surveyed about 300 payments professionals across 45 different countries, and to really understand the current adoption of blockchain payments and also the benefits and the challenges as well. And what's really encouraging is 100% of the respondents agree that there are definitive benefits of using blockchain and crypto in payments. And 97% of respondents said they believe that blockchain and crypto will play a significant role in transforming payment in the next 3 years. So clearly, it is no longer a question of if, right? It's more of a question of when and how. You know, when I started working at Ripple 7 years ago, you know, there was still a lot of like a skepticism and question of, does the payments industry really need blockchain or crypto? But we no longer hear that question. It's really more about like when and how. And in fact, a lot of the people here in this industry believe that next 2 or 3 years is going to be a tipping point for mass adoption.
And, you know, I do kind of agree with her, right? On the tipping point for mass adoption. We're getting there. We're getting there. The next 2 to 3 years, I actually look at it as a move on regulations, right? Like once we have regulations, it's game over. The reason why I say this is because that's when we will start to see institutional grade adoption, which will be a bridge to mass adoption. And I talk about this being a $100 trillion asset class, right? And the reason why I say that is because of tokenization as well, right? Institutions are extremely bullish on tokenization as a service. We know this. We know that they have been heavily focused on this forever. JP Morgan said that's a killer use case. We see many names out there also talking about this. BlackRock, Larry Fink himself, he even said, like, we will see a world where all stocks are tokenized. Again, like, these are $100 trillion plus markets. I even made a video recently where I talked a little bit about tokenization as a service as well, and the amount of money that could be disrupted. But also in terms of mass adoption and trillions of dollars in value that will come. Citi actually had a report, and I did include this in videos in the past. This is July 19th when I posted this. But what they said was the key to mass adoption is use without even knowing it. Back-end infrastructure technology. And you know what's funny about this? Is Ripple and XRP, right, through on-demand liquidity, is essentially back-end infrastructure technology. This could very well be the foundation that a lot of banks and financial institutions are running on. And if that is the case, and we even see banks tokenizing their reserves and having their own currencies that they, brought in, all of that will need to be bridged. All of that will still be transacting over DLT rails. And I question on how much money is going to be moved per day on chain, right? Like, there's going to be trillions of dollars flooding over these rails every single day. And it's not going to happen instantly. It's going to happen over time. Again, like, within this report is saying 6 to 8 years, okay, in terms of mass adoption. The key areas of focus on mass adoption are CBDCs, tokenized assets in gaming, and also social media-based payments. We know that Elon Musk has great ambitions for X, especially with crypto. We know tokenized assets in gaming has already started. We know CBDCs have already started. In fact, even if we go over to Ripple's website, we do already know that from their cross-border payment or central bank digital currency and stablecoin platform, which is kind of right on par with the cross-border payment market anyways, all of this is already happening, right? So we're already kind of seeing this major development. All we really need to see follow through with this is also regulation, so that every single major institution, every single major bank can go fully live with these initiatives. And it's happening, right? It's coming. We already know all of the frameworks that are coming in September. We know all the frameworks that are being planned and drafted. We know Singapore has been a big one. We know Hong Kong recently did pass a few regulations as well. We know that the Fed just recently got a letter from Congress talking about stable coins for US banks to issue out. Like, all of this is happening in real time. And I really want to say, like, we are so early. We really are extremely early, and we can invest into specific markets through XRP on-demand liquidity corridors just by holding XRP, because, Ripple is kind of exposing XRP to a lot of those markets, which is huge. And we already know that many of them are the BRICS nations. We know the BRICS are moving pretty heavily on a decentralized system, if you will, away from the US dollar, which I do think is going to happen pretty quickly. I think over the course of the next couple of years, we are going to see the entire global financial system be shaken to its core through these big initiatives that are happening right now. And everything is starting slowly. But I think it's crucial to understand that we are at this tipping point. And if you are getting bored now, if you're getting impatient now, if you are looking at this space and you're saying, XRP hasn't moved in value in this amount of days, it hasn't gone over this price, it's not trading at this price, I thought we were going to trade much higher from the lawsuit, I thought this was going to be this, that, whatever. I want you guys to understand that, I feel your pain, right? We all want to make money as fast as possible. I always say this. But the biggest problem that I see with this is, we're at this point in time where if we just continue to be patient just a little while longer, we will finally realize the diamonds that we are holding. Right now, I get it, right? There's a lot of pressure on the space. There's a lot of, things that we are still waiting on. There's a lot of ideas around what could happen next and, what will happen next. But I want you guys to realize, like, There's true value here. Institutions, enterprises, they're all ready. They see the value here. While retail can only focus on the short term, institutions, enterprises, they're all looking at the long term here. We are at a tipping point. And this is a huge opportunity. I've talked about how crypto could possibly get to, 50 to $100 trillion in value. And I do believe that that is going to be the case. There's hundreds of trillions of dollars waiting on the sidelines to be tokenized. And I'm very excited about that. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.